Hey everybody, this is Andy with Xperience, and in today's video, I'm going to talk about tips and techniques for driving your car on mountain roads. Hey, I'm Andy, professional performance car driver with a passion for well-engineered cars and driving with friends on mountain roads. On this channel, I share with you my driving experiences and bring you videos on new gear and car reviews. So here, I'm going to talk about some of the differences and similarities track versus road when you're visibility and you're cornering. So on the track and on the road, you're going to have blind corners. Not every corner you're going to be able to see around. Even on the track, some of them there's a blind hill, etc. you can't see. But the key in both is to look as far ahead as you can, right? Here I'm looking way around the bend to the left. I see the sign ahead. I know the road's going to go left. So you're anticipating what's going to happen. Here I'm looking around, road goes to the right. So I already know which way the road is going to go. The arrows are telling me, hey, this thing's going to keep turning, eyes up the hill, back to the left. So you're constantly looking as far ahead as possible. So here I'm going to talk about braking tips for cornering and going uphill. So one of the good news is about going uphill is the momentum, gravity. Momentum's going to slow you down, so you don't have to use as much brake going uphill. And with traction at the rear of the car, you're going to get a lot more traction going up the hill. So it's always safer going up. So here, similar thing, eyes up ahead, but the braking a lot of times here is going to be a little bit more brushing on the brake, not a real hard pedal push on the brake here. Okay, so now when you're braking going downhill, remember you have the weight of the cars all forward. The car might want to push a little bit. So what you need to do is you need to be firm on the brake on the initial application and slowly breathing off the brake, like trail braking, as you go into the turn. You don't want to be pushing on the brake really hard as you're getting into the turn here, going downhill, because you want to avoid the car pushing. Another thing when driving on the mountain roads is you got to pay attention to the signage. Like here, there's a school bus stop. So if you're on these roads in a weekday, you need to pay attention. Over here on the right, there's a church. If you're driving around here on the weekends, guys, there's lots of churches in the mountains. So you have to pay attention to that. Also use these road signs to your advantage regarding if there's a side street, so you know you're going around this bend, there's probably going to be a street coming off to the left, like right there. So you need to be aware of those things. Also, you know, basic driving 101, you pay attention to the signs, get an idea where the road is going, right? Simple enough. But when you're traveling on these roads, it's not uncommon for you to be driving on a stretch where there's nothing, and then all of a sudden there's some driveways. And in these areas where there's driveways, it's not so much worrying about the other cars pulling out, because you can typically see them. It's watching for things like, you know, a kid running after a ball, or more importantly in this part of the world, is people with dogs and loose dogs or animals running around. So when you're in those areas where there's houses, back it down. So driving in overcast is actually probably one of the better conditions, because you're not going in and out of shadows. The light is flat and it's kind of plain, if you will. I mean, flat, plain, I don't know what the hell that means. But the light is flat, so it is pretty good driving in overcast. As opposed to then when you're driving in the sunny conditions, you're going to be going in and out of shadows, potentially a lot of times, depending on the time of day, have the sun in your eyes. So when there's a lot of shadows and that's happening, it's best to just take your sunglasses off. It's better to drive with them off. Then we move to the wet, and there's a difference between raining, downpour, and a wet road, okay? So when the road is wet, you have to be careful when you're going in and out of wet sections of road for your traction. That's what you want to be careful about. So when you hear me talk about being smooth with your hands on the wheel, smooth with the brakes, and smooth with the gas, in the wet, that's really important to be smooth when you're driving. Okay, so there you have it. There are some that, that wasn't everything. I didn't want to put together, a 20-minute video on this. Come to one of our events and we'll spend some more time, and you'll actually get to practice and see yourself how you improve, how your confidence improves driving on the roads. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, notification button, just hit all those things on the screen there. And if you have any questions regarding one of our events, drop me a note at events@rsxperience.com. Try to get those answered for you. Would love to have you come and join us at one of our future events. I'm telling you, they're a blast.